You're watching Straight Black Love Talk with your host, DC Radical One, the home of intelligent, mature relationship conversations.
All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Elijah Lewis. I'm coming from you at the Springfield Town Center in Springfield, Virginia for the Fall Expo. But I want to take a minute to tell you about my book, Your Jewels Are in Your Journey, Life Lessons to Reach Your Optimal Self. This book is about giving us the tools we need to be our optimal self as we go about our journey. I tell everybody is that we're all on a journey, so on that journey we learn that life lessons are jewels, the people that we connect with to be better and inspire us along the way are jewels, and above all you find out that you yourself are a jewel. Because if you don't know who you are, it's hard to know where you're going. So if you're interested in learning more about me and my book or my motivational speaking, I speak on topics such as freedom from life's addictions, the reality of your vision, and many other topics. So if you want more information, go to my website, www.elijahlewis.org. You can get your copies, book me for motivational speaking, and above all, see where the journey takes you. And at the end of the day, may you find many jewels on your journey and continue to be the jewel that you are. Thank you.
Straight Black Pride family. This is Asha Sekhmet, and I am so grateful to be seeing my brother Ayo Kimathi running for the state senator position for the 41st district. This is exciting news because my personal testimonial is that Irritated Genie, he has sparked my level of consciousness, awareness, and getting connected to the deeper parts of my roots, my ancestry, and my culture. I would not be where I am today if it was not for the work that Brother Ayo Kimathi has done for our community. We always talk about protect Black women and children. Well, here's our opportunity. Donate for the brother. Also share and connect with other people to share why it's so important that we have strong Black men as representative in our leadership who have done the work, who have been doing this work and continue to dedicate their life to helping us and protecting us. Let people know, advocate for Brother Ayo Kimathi. I am endlessly grateful for the work that he has done and the service that he has put into our community. Now, I also want to mention that, of course, we align in the Mahi community with the values and principles of the Straight Black Pride movement. We represent a community that goes to divine feminine and divine masculine harmonization. We talk about ancient indigenous practices going back to our original culture. That includes family practices like polygamy, sharing with our sisters, our husband, and making sure that our children are taken care of. Also, Tantra. These are indigenous sacred intimacy practices between man and woman. We're going back to our original culture. If you want to learn more about the Mahi community life system, then you can connect with me on ashasekhmet.com. You can learn more about this ancient wisdom and sacred energy practices at our upcoming event, New Earth Consciousness, that is going to be Wednesdays, November the 12th, 19th, and 26th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can RSVP on my website. That is, I am Asha Sekhmet on all social media platforms. And we have a live Q&A this Wednesday at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. You can come and ask questions so that you can begin your initiations and learning back to connect on a soul level who you were really meant to be. And special shout out to my brother, DC. I absolutely love and commend you for all the work and the service that you do for our community.
Now, we're going to go and talk about AIPAC. What is AIPAC? The American Israel Public Affairs Committee, AIPAC. What does APAC do? APAC is the gangster with a whole lot of money that says, I'm gonna buy you and pay you money, and you're gonna make decisions that I want you to make. You're gonna do as I tell you, because I got my hands in your pockets. And they attached to people like Jeffrey Epstein, who take videos of the people that are supposed to be our representatives, and as they take those videos, they hold them hostage and say, vote as I tell you to vote. Do as I tell you to do.
I didn't even, the concept. I saw Naeem Akbar talking that black talk he was gay, and I was out there telling everybody, yo, this dude gay. You remember back in the 90s, he was hating me. Oh, this dude gay, man, we can't do this. You can't be up there talking black and be gay too. I was like, okay, he out the way, no, we're not doing this. I'm saying this because I did not imagine a time, little old me from Southeast, where if they tell us to take a jab, stick ourselves, I'm gonna be the only one that wanna say something. Maybe the brother out in Whitaker, brother Darren, we got a few brothers, but I'm talking about like, I'm thinking whatever they tell us to do, we got black people who studied under these people, we gonna say no. Or we gonna at least wanna investigate. I'm thinking it'll always be that way. I'm thinking if somebody's pushing this stuff, R. Kelly molesting children, we're gonna deal with this dude. I'm thinking everybody's gonna agree with that, because you don't mess with children.
That's right.
That's what I thought was, that's just how I thought we were. That is who we are intrinsically, but I'm saying, I didn't imagine a world where I'm saying, don't vote for this dude. It's a trick. Come on, y'all. He's a mulatto who didn't grow up around black people. He a gay dude. He gonna push homosexuality. Y'all can't see this? I'm thinking, I'm telling y'all before he get in office, what are you talking about? And people who are the hardest nosed people in African nationalism, the hard ones, looking at me, nah, you can't do that, dude. Y'all don't see this? I'm actually the only one that's gonna say, yo, you don't see. And then when he gets in and does what I say he does, okay, I saw. You messed up the first time. Okay, I saw. I'm thinking, okay, but now he going back for office. He done already made gay marriage legal. All right, now you get it. The dude, I told you he was a punk, he was a gump in the beginning. I still couldn't conceive. No, dude, if you're looking for somebody else to do it, you ain't studied the lessons of history. When you're passionate and pulled to do something and can't stop, it's a message being given to you. Ain't nobody coming. You gotta believe in yourself, because somebody decided that you was supposed to do something. So you can't turn it off and stop looking for people. You just gotta do what you do. We looked in the past, 1972. I was born in 1973. I'm almost 50 years old. I'm 50 in December. A year before I got here, they must have known I was coming. They said, let's get this thing out here now before you get here. They did what's called a Gay Rights Platform of 1972. This is just official document, sharing information. If you go look it up online for yourself, they're making it difficult to find. I don't know if people have been noticing this, but things that you used to easily go and put it on the internet and find them, you can't find this stuff no more. And there's a bunch of stuff you can't find. But I'm gonna bring your attention to just one. It's a bunch of stuff, all of it's aimed at children. Sex education of children, adoption, gay adoption of children. But there's one that's most important for what we're talking about today. And they break it down from the federal level and the state level. On the state level, they say every single state, they want laws repealing all laws governing the age of sexual consent. I'm gonna say that again. They want the repeal of all laws governing the age of sexual consent. Meaning a newborn baby, they want it to be legal to have sexual contact with a newborn baby. What year did I say? 1972. That's 51 years ago.
Fast forward 21 years from then to 1993. In the interest of producing that result, they had right downtown, 30 minutes, not even 30 minutes if there's no traffic, go right up here East Capitol, go all the way up the road, you run right into it. They had the 1993 Gay Rights March on Washington. Let's see what that was about.
Check one.
Did y'all hear what they just said? Do I need to play that again? He said, don't play it again. He said, no, thank you. All right, I want to do this again. They said, we're young, we're queer. We're going to do what? We're going to rule the world. Now remember, 21 years before that, what did they say that they wanted for children? Repeal all laws governing the age of sexual consent. They want to have sex with children and make it totally legalized. 21 years after they said that, they said, we're young, we're queer, we're going to rule the world. That was in 93. This is 30 years after that. So they've had 30 years to say we're queer, we're going to rule the world, which at that point they said, we haven't gotten to the point where we rule the world, because if they did, they wouldn't be saying that. They would say, we're young, we're queer, and we rule the world. They didn't say that. We're young, we're queer, we're going to rule the world and have it our way.
Beautiful day, straight black proud brothers and sisters. This is your brother DC Radical One. This is SBL Talk. And I am your co-host. I believe Sister Najee is also here with us. Sister Najee, if you're here with us, let us know. I think she's here. Okay, I guess she'll join us when she's ready. All right. So, man, tonight, the topic is going to be viewer driven. So if we don't get no viewers, then we ain't gonna have a very long discussion. Just put it straight like that. So I sent the message out to more people. Brother, you got ripped off. If you want to go past and see if I missed any appropriate groups on the what you call it, on the Thank you, brother. You know what I'm talking about. On the Telegram side, let me know. Send it out to probably 24 people on Instagram. So we shall see. Right now, not much. Yeah. So I want to make this a viewer's choice taboo topics thing, and we'll see how it goes. And so while I'm waiting for Sister Najee to show up, we'll just go ahead and get started with the pledge. And
did you want me to read the pledge?
yeah, baby, for there. Yeah, I was waiting for you to come in. Yeah, you can read the pledge. I got some noise in the background, so you can do that, please. Thank you.
No problem. I pledge allegiance to my straight, black, and proud ancestors and the culture and traditions which they founded. I vow to practice those traditions of straight black love, family building, and nation building to the best of my ability, using all of my life's energy, intelligence, and creativity. I also vow to do everything in my power to protect Black men, Black women, and especially Black children from sexual abuse, homosexuality, exploitation, and miseducation as long as I am mentally, physically, and spiritually able. Lastly, I vow to fight against any force, physical foe, ideology, or philosophy that threatens the straight, black, and proud culture, regardless of origin. This I pledge in the name of my African ancestors and the divine creator. Ashe.
Shayo. Let me see, because I don't really have a lot of slides today, because like I said, they're supposed to be viewer driven. We will, of course, do the ones we always do as a reminder. In traditional African and traditional African American culture, marriage was an expected part of adulthood. In many African societies, you were not considered an adult if you were not married. The family was considered the foundational institution of the society. There was no debate about the equality of men and women, as each has their jobs to do for the society. During enslavement, Black men and Black women would often escape and try to find their spouses and loved ones, even posting advertisements. I got to get a picture of those advertisements and put them up. Remind me of that, sister, please. Risking life and limb. Black people would buy their loved ones with money they saved working quote unquote overtime to get money to buy their spouses or children's freedom. And remind me to change that to also or children. When I read this, I really just think about the fact that until 1970, which is in the midst of the integration cycle, Black women were more likely to be married than white women. And it's a telling stat because it's literally 1 year after Gloria Steinem's declaration of war declaration of war on the Black family, realistically, and on the Black Power movement. And I mean, the results were swift and have been permanent, and we've been slowly. That's not the sole reason, of course, because you had crack, HIV, all these different attacks, but we've been slowly falling down the well towards extinction ever since. So I just always like to remind people of that, that literally our enemies tell us straight to our face that they plan to help derail our movements by targeting the minds of our women, and yet we still fall victim to it. And many people don't even know about the article that she wrote. So we just got a lot of work to do. That's all I can say. If I haven't introduced myself, I'm DC Radical 1. You can follow me on Instagram at DC.Radical1, on Twitter at DC Radical_ONE, on Threads at DC.Radical1, on OTW2 at DC Radical 1. If you find value in the work that we do here, not just this show, but also the center, you can donate at $sign DC Radical 1 on Cashapp or via Zelle at dc.radical_1 at protonmail.com. And let me say this real quick. Then I'll get back to it. Actually, no, I forgot. I did. No, but I'll address it real quick. So we had somebody the other day make a statement about reparations, which was yesterday's show. And then they wrote the same thing today, but they didn't show up for the show. I'm just going to say this. They're probably not going to listen to this anyway, but I'm going to say this. For people like that, please stop being cowards. If you want to have a debate on the issue, I'm willing to entertain it based if you're serious and you show some type of intellect. Other than that, realistically, with all due respect, your opinion is really not needed. All right, so I'm done with that. Let me move to the next slide. Because like I said, we don't have many slides. Historical attacks on the Black family. Sister, have you read this before?
No, but I also haven't introduced myself. So if I'm going to do that.
My bad.
So yes, my name is Najee, Nefer Najee on Instagram and Rumble. You can also contribute to my Cashapp at Nefer Najee, $ Nefer Najee, NEFER, which means good in ancient Kemet, Najee. Check out my website at realkkkkk.com. Going back to the show, historical attacks on the Black family. The attack on the Black family began in the coffle lines where African men and women were separated. This continued in the slave dungeons like Elmina and continued on the slave ships where men, women, and children were separated. Our enemies know that our strength as a people comes from the family, and it is the family that allows us to pass down our culture and traditions. Ancestral memories passed down preserve our natural survival instincts. Without this, we are sitting ducks for our enemies.
Yeah, I don't really think there's much to add here. I've addressed it multiple times, but the idea that our families are under attack and we don't value family anymore, and we think that that's natural or is our doing, just shows how ahistorical we are. Like, you have ideas that aren't rooted in history, that your ideas are usually wrong. Just plain and simple. Like, again, I'm the type of person, if it's not rooted in history, if you don't have some type of historical documentation, I'm pretty much not trying to hear what you're talking about. And as I said before, one thing I remember, you go to college, and I don't know if they still do it now, but when I was in college 100 years ago, literally they started every subject with the history of the subject. It didn't matter what the subject was, right? Didn't matter if it was didn't matter if it was business. It didn't matter if it was what they used to call computer programming 100 years ago, what they call coding now. Didn't matter if it was something dealing with medicine, whatever the subject matter was. So that's why I don't entertain ahistorical arguments. Like, if you can't point to some historical documentation about what you're talking about, you making up shenanigans. You spreading fallacies. So that's what I say with that. Before the Straight Black Friday, Brother Elijah, I actually haven't greeted the people in the chat. I haven't even looked to see who's in here other than Brother You Got Ripped Off. So my humble apologies. BB to me to Brother Safo, and BB Fode to Brother Elijah. And of course, Sister Najee, she is the co-host, even though she was in the chat. And I got some people around me that are currently enjoying themselves. So I think this slide here, we're going to deal with, that ain't what I wanted to do. Let's try this again. This is some of the stuff that I came up with taboo topics. This ain't everything, but I basically came up with 9 things. And if anybody in the audience has anything that they want to throw up, we will take that as well. And I don't think it'll take us that long to get through these 9, but maybe I'm wrong. So, first thing, right? Taboo topic, things that people we don't really want to talk about in the community. And these aren't in any order of importance. These are just things that came to my mind while I was talking. Number one, older black women are jealous of younger black women, and this often includes mothers being jealous of their daughters. Sister Najee, you have anything that you want to um, address on this particular topic? Is it true, false? What are your thoughts?
I would say that it's true, hurtfully so, about the mother daughter situation. Um, but it is generally true. Not to say generally as if that's 9 times out of 10 true, but that is something you are going to find frequently throughout the community. I have a question though. I wonder, is it the same if you flip it around? Are older black men jealous of younger black men? Because I see a lot, like in DC, there's a lot of older black men that seem to want to stay, like they want to be the younger black men. So you see them dressing and listening to the music and talking and acting like them. But is it really the same thing?
I would, excuse me, I would address that more as stunted growth than jealousy, because I don't see, how can I put it? Because what I see, and maybe we're not talking about the same thing, but like what I see, and I can only talk about what I've seen in DC lately, since I'm traveled around more, is like a lot of people, and I do it too to some degree, because I don't have, like, we don't have events. I don't go to as many places that require my African best, but I see a lot of older men not even actually dressing like younger, how the younger men are dressing, that, but they're still dressing like they did when they were young, if you understand what I'm saying. You see what I'm saying? So sometimes you see older men still rocking for example, football jerseys, or seeing a dude that was like 60 with his hat turned backwards. You know what I'm saying? Like, so those things that were in vogue when we were young, I'm considered the older man. I see us doing that. Like, I had some dude was on the bus playing, I don't know what he was playing, but it was for something back in the day, but I didn't recognize what it was. But I knew it was just from the sound of it, some hip hop from 20, 30 years ago, and blasting it. And I'm just like, bro, what are we doing right now? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you in your car and you want to play that, that's cool. But it's like, that's what we carried around boom boxes and blasted that stuff when we were teenagers. You older than me, so you way past 50. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, yo, what is, well, I know what's going on. Hip hop has stunted our growth, but I don't think it's a jealousy thing as so much as a more like a Peter Pan syndrome going on amongst the men in the black community.
I think you're right. Your examples like football, wearing a sports jersey or turning your hat backwards, that's like, that's not skinny jeans. That's not, sagging your pants well below and sagging with the designer belt and wearing the ski mat. Like, that's not even
well, the
issue.
skinny
I would much
jeans
rather
thing
you wear a
now.
football jersey than skinny jeans. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, well, I was going to say this: the skinny jeans thing is not even, that's been around now for like 20 years. That's no longer even young people stuff. That's,
For sure. For sure.
you know what I'm saying?
That's what, when you
started
gave the
like,
example of putting the hat backwards, I'm like, shoot, that's not it. That's not what it, the bar is much lower now. That's basics. For you to wear your hat backwards and wear a sports jersey with some sweatpants or something, that's like low, that's very low key. That's regular. That just looks like somebody that's trying to be comfortable. That doesn't look like an older person trying to be a young person per se.
well, I'm just using those examples. I'm just saying that we used to, actually, I saw somebody with a video on. I'm just saying that people used to dress. Adults used to dress differently. Like they used to dress like adults, and like you were comfortable in your house, and you walked out of your house, you weren't necessarily comfortable because you had business to take care of. But as I said, we don't have no black businesses, so we ain't got no business to take care of in the grand scheme of things. You know what I'm saying? So, and that brings me to a whole nother thing. I'm gonna take a whole nother tangent. But I remember women talking about men don't look as good, or it was something like that. And I said, no, I said, no, what it is, because I was looking around. I said, damn, what it is the COVID style never left.
Hmm.
And what I mean by that is, for example, I'm gonna use myself as an example. I had thought about growing my hair out, right? But I was still getting my hair cut short. And then as COVID happened, I was just like, well, can't go to the barber, but I was still going to work. So and literally the supervisor at the time was like, are you trying to grow locks or something? And I was like, yeah. I was I had made a decision, but I was just like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because that was that answer that would make him leave me alone. And then yeah, eventually I did it. But um like being clean cut and super groomed and well dressed, that isn't in style anymore. But it also leads to, I think, a lack of seriousness amongst our people as well, that I hadn't thought about till brother you got ripped off had brought it up. But you sound like you disagree, so I'm going
Well,
be glad that you.
I don't think clean cut is out of style per se. I hear what you're saying. Like since COVID, everybody has kind of just, you know, just we just in a whole nother dimension at this point. But I still see people that are like aiming for that clean cut look in DC. You know, so there's people going to work and whatever, whatever. So yeah, that's eh.
Well, I guess I'm traveling in the wrong circles because I don't see it nearly as much. Like when I see a brother like that, it's like it stands out. But again, I'm traversing the hood. I'm not talking about downtown at 8 a.m. on the train while you going to work. Well, first of all, the last 6 weeks ain't nobody been going to work, but, but before that, yeah.
You talking about people less serious now. It's like be serious about what, low key. And it's not even wrong that we're getting away from the quote unquote clean cut, clean shaven thing, because we've been doing that for what? For the system that ultimately doesn't serve us. So if we making a switch around, ain't nothing wrong with that. There's a lot to be serious about, but what we've been taking serious is a very unserious thing, and so it's gonna take a moment for us to do the full switch around.
Well, you know me. I'm talking about as far as us being serious. I'm about being serious about survival because, as far as I'm concerned, we being exterminated, and apparently, myself and the people that listen to this show and you people connected to me are the only people that know. Because people be talking about fighting oppression. I'm like, oppression is over. You being wiped out. Like, where y'all been? We've been being wiped out since the crack epidemic 40 years ago. Like, y'all, Professor Griff say, go get a late pass. Like, maybe I should have put that as a taboo topic. Black people are being exterminated and ain't reacting. You know what I'm saying? That should have been the first one because they did a whole show. Maybe I'm gonna do it. Maybe I'm gonna do a show on that on the center. Black people are being exterminated, and you don't, and they don't care. Like, so,
Don't care, it's a combination of don't realize, don't care, or don't see the connection, don't feel like it even has anything to do. Like I feel like we as a people have collectively decided that it is already too far gone. And so why start to care now? Like the whole issue of people saying we need to stop going to Dubai. We need to stop funding the United Arab Emirates because it's active, like there's actively causing a genocide in Africa, specifically in Sudan, right? And there's still to this day people that are posting their Dubai pictures. And you could say, oh, they don't know. Or you could say,
Well, I
they probably just don't. They don't. It's not to say
well,
that they
can I interject?
don't care, but it really is that they don't see themselves as the direct like recipient. They're just like, it's not really relevant to me.
Yeah, no, it's not relevant because they think they're Indians. That's what that is. Because they
Nah,
following Dr. York, they just don't
look,
know it.
some, not all, some, like I hear what you're saying, but that's not always the case. There's a lot of black people that genuinely feel not that they're Indians, they feel that they're Americans.
Well, that's the same thing because American mean white,
Nah,
so that's the same thing.
nah,
You know what I'm saying?
can't be.
Because as far as I'm concerned, there's African and then there's evil. There ain't no. I'm throwing everybody in the same trash bin. Like we just been playing too much with trying to make friends or make a way of it. Man, don't get me started cussing out here. But yeah, I mean, like American. Let me tell you, was going to do a show on psychological mulattoism because that's what being a Black American is in the grand scheme of things. It's just psychological mulattoism. Psychologically, you black and white, or whatever, to what Du Bois said.
Right.
Right. So what did he call it? The dual mindedness or whatever. Peace and blessings to Brother Crow, by the way, man. I just saw you, brother. And brother, you got ripped off. Said Negroes been participating, excuse me, with non-black people for No Shave November for 10 years. Yeah, I ain't, if you did anyway, once you deculturalize, man, you just open up for anything. Don't get me started, because I'm already just not. Let me take a deep breath. But yeah, let's get back to our original point because we strayed completely away from that. So you were going to address, because you did kind of deflect, you were going to address the issues with the older sisters and the young sisters, and I wanted to hear what you got to say. So continue, please.
It is a sad situation when a mother is jealous of her daughter. It's sad enough to where I half don't even want to get into it. Because it's like, what kind of selfishness or, to not be able to be happy for other people, specifically your own children. I just don't know what kind of, maybe it's a lack of maturity. Maybe she herself is seeing that, oh man, I used to be that child. Why aren't I still the child? Maybe it's something like that. I don't know. I've seen it happen, and what it looks like is a daughter that is not being supported or is just directly being abused, or being neglected in such a way. I've seen mothers be jealous of their daughters because the men that they have around essentially are PDF files. And because they looking at the daughter with googly eyes, the mom is now mad at the daughter, even though the mom the one brought this man around. So like it's a lot of twistedness. Older women being jealous of the younger women. I don't know about that. Like if with the, I don't know.
I mean, if you want me to address it, I'll address it. Just being completely honest. Because sabotaging them by telling them the wrong thing is because of jealousy. It ain't because of nothing else. Because they know better. It ain't, you know what I'm saying? I ain't giving no quarter.
I was thinking it was, trying to just trying to put themselves in their shoes. Like if you grew up in the 90s and you looking at how the girls act today, you would have a sense of jealousy because it's like, oh man, you get to just go out and show your full behind. You just get to go out and act a complete A. Man, I wish I was out here. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that that probably has a lot to do with it.
If Well, if that's what they thinking, then all they thinking is, oh man, y'all get to have Freak Nick every day. That was once a year for us.
Yeah, basically that's what I was thinking. But and then like you said, telling them wrong information, or essentially trying to get them to whore themselves out so that the men will be disgusted and eventually end up going for a sugar mama type cougar situation.
Well, not even a cougar situation. They're trying to get the men their age. Because here's the secret. Because the disparity in women with children and men without children, they're trying to get the men their age to be interested in them, because now you have a higher number, like those men have, or now they're not in their 20s anymore, they're in their 40s. And the generation of women that they're looking at, they just like, nah, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? So the men are reaching back to try to marry younger women. Whether people agree with it or not, no one cares. You know what I'm saying? So that is causing a lot of jealousy in the community, and it has spilled over to the internet, so you can't hide it no more. So I've seen that, but I've seen it way before that. I've seen it as far as like the mother-daughter thing. I saw that basically almost 30 years ago when I was a teenager. Like, and I'm sure I talked about this before, but you don't realize this stuff exists until the girl you're dating's mother is being a little too friendly, and then you talk to their relative and they tell you, yeah, that ain't the first time. You're like, you way too calm about this. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm freaked out, and you just like, nah, don't worry about it. Don't pay no attention. I'm like, pay no attention. I don't feel comfortable coming over here sometimes, bro. Like, what are you saying? So, yeah, those things are real. Like, I mean, how many, let's be honest, how many mothers have slept with their daughter's boyfriends? Because I've seen some of that stuff on the internet, and I'm just like, that's crazy to me. I just think that's a total violation, and you talk about breaking trust and everything else. That man, please. So, I don't know if you had anything else to add to that.
No, it's just a real sad situation for real. It's like super unfortunate. I guess the whole list is about to be.
Yeah,
Well,
it's taboo topic, so we
goes
getting
in with
super ugly,
the first one, actually. Black women give
huh?
each other bad. I said the next one go in with the first one. Black women give each other bad relationship advice because of jealousy and competition. That's basically the same thing, just without the age. It don't gotta be that it's an older woman. It could be your friend, your same age, telling you wrong just because she actually wants to get with your man versus you being with him. So
Yeah, that was the point. Yeah. Oh, look, man, listen again. I'm gonna talk about this. Don't, as a man, the way you'll see this is if you get a quote unquote average looking woman and she has friends, right? And she got some friends that quote unquote look better than her. Oh, the jealousy will show up. Like, I'm saying, like, if you a man, like, you a man that attracts women, whether it's because of your look, your style, your money, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you date a woman who's at a lower income bracket or lower, social economic bracket, and you scoop her up, man, her friends, oh, they definitely, if they ain't trying to sabotage, they trying to get with you on, you know what I'm saying, on the low. It's no question. Man, I've been in situations where I could have mopped up the whole squad. Like, I'm not bragging about it. I'm just saying that was the situation at the time. just because of what we talking about, because of jealousy. Like, why he with her type of thing, right? You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, and sometimes that can feed into colorism, because sometimes it's like, why is this dude with the, out of the crew, he with the darkest broad in the crew, or you know what I'm saying? Like, man, it's a lot that plays into that, and it's just wild to see. I mean, I'm talking about friendships break up over that, and you be thinking sometimes, like, because it depends on how it is. Like, sometimes the friend just be hating on you, like the Pam type thing. It's up in real life, and you're like, yo, what is up with this broad? Like, she be hating on me, like, I don't know what. Like, she hate my guts. And then let your girl go to the store or something, and then she start acting different. You be like, oh, this why you been hating, because you, man, please. So I'm just saying, right? This stuff is out here, and it's been out here, and that's why it's taboo topics, because don't nobody want to talk about it. I wanted some sisters to come in here to address these issues so we can have real talk. BB48, Straight Black Pride Brother Tony. So as people start to trickle in. But yeah, man, like, these are the issues that we need to talk about. And I mean, I'm gonna start telling people, like, look, don't message me during the show if you ain't gonna watch the show. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? If it ain't emergency, you know what I'm saying? I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, Sister Najee, you got anything to add to this part?
Are we moving on to the next bullet? The black?
No, the
jealousy?
competition.
Nah, that's done.
Jealousy.
Nah, moving on.
I notice you don't really want to talk about the women's issues too much. You just like,
nah, it's just this specific one is not something that, we talked earlier on the phone, and I don't see it up here, so I'm really waiting on that. That is much more of an interesting topic to me than this one. They go together, but
just put that one on the table, because I didn't
you
write
didn't put
it
it
up
up.
here.
Okay, well, you go ahead and say it how you said it, because you said it well. You said the biggest lie right now when it comes to black relationships is, you remember?
No, I don't. So go ahead.
My goodness. You said the biggest lie is that black men hate black women more than black women hate black women. Is that how you said it?
Yeah, that's how I said it.
Okay, so that that goes into this conversation very well, because that's a fact. A lot of the issues that we're having, a lot of women know what the issues are, and the best thing that women really can do is just don't be around those type of women. But the women that are stuck around those type of women are just that, they're stuck, because you're just gonna get beat down bad girls club wise. Like, it's gonna be bad if you try and tell your girlfriend that, nah, Charlie, like, that's not, we shouldn't do that. We should try and do better. Everybody gonna look at you sideways. They're gonna start talking bad about you, and they're gonna start plotting on you. And sometimes that equals death. So, like, the mean girl behavior that black women have amongst ourselves, that's the kind, it's beyond jealousy and competition. It's downright just, it really is just downright evil, just self-sabotage to the most. And to say black men hate black women, it's like, yeah, there's a lot of black men that, even if you look at the worst of them, that are always talking bad about black women, still I wouldn't say that they hate black women more than other women hate black women.
Hold on, sister. We getting some type of feedback or something. Is that you? Because I had my mic off. I'm gonna sound like somebody rubbing the mic or something.
Not sure.
Okay, go ahead.
Not sure, but yeah, no, that was I wanted to make sure that was said on the topic, but outside of that, that's it.
Okay, well, no, I thought you were gonna go into that issue that you was talking about that you saw on Instagram. So yeah, go ahead, just go into that example while you on this.
Um, that's not the same issue. I guess it could be. How many more slides you got? This all you got?
No, I only got a couple. I only got 9 talking points. So it's 2 slides, 9 talking points. So have at it.
Okay, so just in general, going back to the conversation of black women hating black women more than black men hate black women, there's a lot of black women that are just really downright evil. And some of them you could say is because, generally we're misguided. We don't have black fathers, or we had a mother, but she was jealous. And so, you just a girl in this world, and nobody to really develop you in a positive way. So the enemy is able to just use your mind as a playground. And that's what we see with a lot of women. That's, why women are essentially being used against the men at this point. But still, there's a level of choice that comes in. So I give women a lot of leeway, but at the same time, it's like you're choosing to be a bad person, and that's never cool. So specifically, there was a conversation online about a what would be considered. I don't like the word like stepdaughter or stepfather or anything like that, but that's basically what it was. So it was a daughter that was trying to talk to her. She was texting her father's wife about asking if she could come over this weekend because she wanted to see her other siblings. And the woman, the wife, the wife basically was like, no, like, nah, you can't come over. And she was, really begging, like, please, I'll just make a pallet on the floor, and I'll just, just be for one night. Just please, can I stay over? And the woman said no, like all caps with exclamation marks, like, no, you cannot come over. And that was a fellow sister, straight black pride sister, that had sent that information and was like, why would you, like, I would not be interested in a man who would put a woman over his children like that. Because to me, if I saw that somebody was talking to my child like that, we'd have a whole other type of problem. Because just it leads to worse things. If you can't be kind on something so simple as I'm asking for, one night pallet on the floor, and you're supposed to be my mom. I know you're not my biological mother, but now you've married into the role of my mom, and you're gonna treat me like this, Cinderella style? No, no, it's terrible. And unfortunately, that's just one example of many, many more. And so the conversation ultimately became, I think I told you the gist was just ain't ish women. That's a really big problem that we're I don't think that we're taking it seriously. Like, I know a lot of men complain about the women, but complaining isn't actually doing anything. And to complain,
Well, can I ask you a question?
well, let me finish. To
I,
complain isn't encompassing what the macro level issue is, and how to quantify how big of an issue it actually is. Yes, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna ask because you said that men aren't addressing it in essence. Am I correct in that assessment, or have I
No,
misconstrued your words?
no, because I'm saying that men will talk. Men, you go online, talk all day about women, but I'm saying to
No,
complain.
I'm talking about like addressing it, like not complaining, but like doing something.
What does that look like to you outside of what you can do amongst the people in your vicinity? What does that look like to you?
Well, that was my question. That was gonna be my question to you because I thought you were saying that the men were complaining about it, but they weren't taking it seriously. I thought that's what you were saying. So I
Yeah,
was gonna ask you
sure. To take
could
it
what do
seriously,
you think?
hmm
Yeah, go ahead.
taking it
Go ahead.
seriously would be going. First of all, you have to like go to the youth, right? Because some of these is just you too old. There's no change really to be expected. Go to the youth, go to the family, the young families, and try and be there. Like we used to have what was the name of the program? It was like the Jegna program where you find big brother, big sister, that kind of thing. That's if you really dedicated to man. The children are in my neighborhood, they go out into the streets and they curse and they act trash, and I want to make sure that that's not something that happens in my town, on my street, on my block. So I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna be out there and I'm gonna talk to them. I'm gonna let them know, hey, look, y'all, you can't act like that, and this is the reason why, and I'm taking a vested
Yeah.
interest into your development.
Can I tell you why that doesn't happen anymore?
I already know why it doesn't happen. I'm just saying it
Oh,
ain't
okay. Yeah.
serious.
So again, that can lead to violence because let me just be honest. I've talked about this before. Like when we talked about before, the sisters yelling at their children, and I just told her, sister, I was like, yeah, there's no need to address him like that. He's not an adult. And then she tried to cuss me out, and I just let it roll off. But in my mind, I was like, I could literally just pick you up and throw you off the bus. So all this jibber jabbering, you really don't understand. Like I can kill you with my bare hands. Like that's what I'm thinking. You know what I'm saying? While she talking, I'm just like, ah.
I mean, essentially, that really is the
You know,
answer.
that's all. That's literally
We
all I
have
was
to be
thinking
in a
because I'm like,
position,
you
yeah, we
serve
have
no
to be in a
purpose to your
position to
child.
just be ready to take whatever consequences come with that, or put ourselves in situations where we know there's not going to be consequences. If somebody needs their behind beat, and we all can agree in the neighborhood, that house right there, we all need to go to that house. We need to jump everybody up in there. If that's what we can all agree to, and if
But see, I mean, that you have to have a neighborhood for that, and we don't
exactly.
have neighborhoods anymore. I'm
No,
just saying, like we don't have community. We don't have any of that stuff anymore. Like literally, all that would have to be built. And to be honest, the only way it'd be built would be with like-minded people. But I think a lot of decent black people don't even come outside because they just tired. They go outside, they look, they're like, oh my god, go back in the house and wait for the time to go to work. Like you know what I'm saying?
oh, that's so sad.
Because it's hell out there. Why even? You know it's out there, but occasionally you go out to see. You like, is it still hell? Yep, still hell. All right, cool. That's you know. I mean, if I'm wrong, y'all correct me, but that's all I'm saying.
Nah, I mean it starts with the family. So father to daughter should be first, because father to daughter, uncles to nieces, like is it's a lot of like brother Tony just said, you gotta have family. So it does start with the family. But when the family's off, then now what? Now who do we go to?
Yeah, and that's a big problem. And I'll be the first to say it. When the elders in your family drop off, I'll be honest. Like my generation, because so many people aren't married, men and women, a lot of the family traditions of falling by the wayside. Family reunions and holiday stuff. Even though I wasn't no big holiday person, but I mean everybody knew I wasn't celebrating, but I would still show
Right.
up a lot of times. But it's not the same. It would be different. Like if I was married, I ain't gonna lie, it'd be different because more than likely, even if people know, you know what I'm saying, the woman gonna be like, "When last time you seen your mother?" Oh, well, I seen her a couple months ago. But you going to see her for the holidays? Here we go. Might as well just go in and just start packing up stuff. Ain't no, you know what I'm saying. This is not a debate you gonna win. Just pack, put the stuff in the car. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. There ain't even there's there's nothing else to say here. But um, when you don't have, because the women literally keep the family together. That this is just a fact. This is just how it works from an extended level. And once you start losing those elder women and the women whose job has been to do that for 30, 40, 50 years, if the next generation don't pick up, or the generation after that, because they ain't married and they ain't whatever, you know what I'm saying? It disappears. and the closeness of the family disappears. And so, um, like we're seeing the unraveling of the tapestry in real time, and the deculturalization contributes to it, and then it's like a circular thing. The deculturalization, it contributes to it, and then the next generation contributes to further deculturalization. You know what I'm saying? So as much as I hated the doctrine of the old church, I'll take that uh the moral standards. And I'm not talking about the modern church. I'm talking about the old church before this prosperity gospel and all this stuff. I would take that because of the moral standards over anything we have now, because we ain't got nothing now. We ain't got no institution. You know what I'm saying? So, sister, you got anything to add to that?
No, I mean that's a fact. As far as I'd rather take the old school church principles and the structure that it brought versus what we got today, whether it be prosperity pastors or the faggotry pastors. And it's kind of one and the same. Gay and pay really do go hand in hand with each other. So 9 times out of 10, if it's a prosperity pastor, they gonna be somebody that's in the back, bending over and giving evil an opening for them dollars. That's how it goes. Um, but
Oh Lord.
no, it reminds me of there's a video. I, Either you sent it to me or brother, you got ripped off sent it to me. Somebody sent me this video today, I think, and it was talking about how we missed out on when our grandmothers we were looking at it like they were being mean because they would say, oh, you need to stop eating so much, a girl, you're not going to be able to fit your clothes, and you don't want to be a big girl, and making those kinds of statements because now everybody big, and it's kind of like, and honestly the norm. And I remember maybe 10 years ago it became a thing to say like, oh, the what is it, the BMI, that's not actually the real thing for was it for black people, that mostly is for white people, which is true to a degree, but we kind of taking it to the next level. It was you, it was brother Magus that sent it to me, and she was right, because now we got fat activists. How you gonna be active in the movement and you not active? Period. You not active at all physically. So how you gonna be active in the movement? How that work?
Man, I just put it like this. There was a group of people that said that they would that they would try to take all beauty out of society. And so that's part of that methodology, but people think that they are defending. I don't actually know what they think they're defending. You know what I'm saying? Freedom or
Defending their
what?
freedom.
I don't know.
That's
I
what they
don't
do.
really know what. I don't understand it. You know what I'm saying? So no need for me to sit here and make up nonsense. But it's really ridiculous. But what that goes to is our next thing. Black female obesity is aided by black males who still sleep with obese women because they're low hanging fruit. So the men ain't helping. You know what I'm saying? Even if the mother or the grandmother is saying something, the men not helping, because the woman, as many women come on the internet and do, like, I still get ends. Like, yeah, you still get, man, I almost said something crazy. I had to say I had to say that for SBL After Dark. But yeah, I mean, just because you get to lay on your back does not, I mean, that's it. Hey, that taboo topics. Laying on your back is not an accomplishment. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, man. Being able to get smashed by random dudes is not an accomplishment. Like, apparently the memo has not gone out to modern women, but yeah, brothers are not helping, because you're gonna tell the woman, oh, you not, if you say something about healthy, then they're gonna say the BMI. Then if you say something about marriage or whatever, they gonna say I get ends, and so they're gonna always have a response. You know what I'm saying? Even if the response is ridiculous, they're gonna always have a response. So yeah, I mean, and then to be honest, that trickles down in the community because you, man, how many times have we seen, you know, just a whole family full of people that's just ginormous for no reason other than diet and lack of exercise, and so that can become a whole generational curse, as they say. So yeah, that yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, anything else you want to add to that?
I think the obesity issue is when you look at it from the perspective of us being at war, it certainly is an attack on us, but it also is us deciding that we no longer care about ourselves. We no longer care about our children because 9 times out of 10, you got a big person, their child gonna be big too, and not like cute big, big big. I can't go outside and play big because I'm tired just from the thought of running. Like that does not make for a warrior. That doesn't make for a healthy child. That doesn't really even make for a sick child. That just makes for a dead child. If you can't even go out,
Tired from the thought of running is wild, but go.
like it's really bad out here. It's really bad. I don't know, we talk about this all the time of like who is really our audience, right? Most of the people, like I'm looking on the brother you got ripped off, don't really know about that life because he's Black Family Vanguard, right? But if you are familiar with some non-centered families and non-centered children, the issue of food and waste and obesity, weight, those issues, we don't even really fully have the capacity to blame white people because we actively involved in it. No, it's not 1,000% on us because most of the standard American diet is set to be poison. So it is them poisoning us, but we are picking our poison and deciding to double size it. And that's on us. That is on us. And there's the saying
Yeah.
with hmm,
Oh no, not to cut you off, sister, but I was going to say. I mean, yeah, I've seen it. I've seen people feeding their children stuff. In the morning, they on their way to school or whatever, and I sometimes I look and I'll be like, well, maybe that's all they can afford. I mean, we part of it too. We do have to add that. First of all, there's way more poverty in the Black community than we want to admit, but
yeah,
so that don't help because when you ain't
right,
got money, getting quality food is hard, especially now.
right.
And hell, the quality food ain't even quality half the time because
It isn't.
I
Different type
mean,
of poison.
man, don't even get me started. They was talking
Right.
about. I was reading something. They was talking about the was it the parasites and some berry or something. I'm like, bro, I can't even eat berries. I can't even make a smoothie no more. Like,
No,
I
you
don't
cannot.
want to know this information for real. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Seriously.
I'm just like, come on, man, give me a break. I say, no, I
Right.
said, now I see why people sometimes I say something to somebody and their eyes start glazing over. They like, oh, Lord, here you go. Yeah, that's how
Mm-hmm.
I was when that information came.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. When that
Seriously.
information came, I just like, come on, man, please. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's a multifaceted problem.
Mm-hmm.
But the difference is, it's one of those that's just readily apparent. You see it literally from a mile away, and again, it's a multi generational thing too. But
Yeah.
the bad part is, as a man, you certainly can't. If that's not you, even if it is your woman, you can't say nothing to no woman about that. That's a fight you're not gonna win. If you say something, they're gonna take it wrong. If you don't know the woman, she gonna cut you out. So I don't even. I just look. I don't. And I ain't saying nothing to
Well,
nobody about no.
nah,
Like,
if it's your woman, she's gonna take it wrong if depending on how you say it. But if you start doing things and start getting active in a specific kind of way, if you're leading the right way, she's gonna follow you. So if you have a woman that needs to lose weight for whatever reason, or just in general needs to be in shape, because it's not all the times about weight. You could be a skinny person and be completely out of shape and not be able to run for survival. So it's not all the way about weight. It's about, I mean, weight has a lot to do with it, but it's not all the way about weight. It's about us being, fit human beings in general. Like we used to naturally be healthy because we were living in healthy societies. We are no longer living in a healthy society. So we have to go out of our way to get that extra level of exercise in, or the extra nutrients, vitamins and minerals and things like that. We got to go out of our way to get them now, whereas they used to just happen naturally. It was just naturally occurring for me to, I got to walk to the stream to do laundry. So I'm not thinking about, oh, let me get my 30 minutes of running in today because I'm already on the move and getting stuff done. So, yeah, if you are a man that has a woman that has, like, your woman is overweight, I do not suggest you telling her that she's overweight. I probably wouldn't say it at all. I would just start moving different. I would start, oh, we up. You want to come do this? Let's go to the mall, walk around a little bit. Let's do this. Let's, like, just start being active. You don't
but
have
what
to
if the man is already active? Because
make
I've
her be
I've
active too.
I've seen situations like that where the people are together for a while. Of course, the woman have children or whatever, and the dude, he active. He been active, but the woman, you know, motherhood and things like that happen, and then he kind of looking around like, oh man, I don't know what to do, and I'm like, bruh, I can't help you. I don't know how to broach that subject without ruining your relationship. So I ain't got nothing for you. You know what I'm saying?
No,
I
I
ain't
mean,
got that for you at all.
that's a valid thing. Your wife's body is going to change and go through a change that is not just the length of the pregnancy. Her body has changed now, really for the rest of life. And they
Right.
say, as
Exactly.
far as go ahead. I love
No,
you.
I was agreeing with you. Yeah, yeah. It's a permanent change, and so yeah,
Right.
no, I was agreeing with you.
It is. It's a permanent change, and they talk the mental change that it is. She's not going to necessarily feel motivated to get up and do anything other than the bare minimum of what's needed for the baby, not even for herself. So the issue is not just, oh, she looked bad because she gained weight. You got to worry about her mental health. It's not, oh, she don't feel like going outside. She needs to go outside for her mental health, for her to be able to breathe, for her to not, have the walls fall in on her. Postpartum depression is something that they talk about a lot more now, but that's something recently, as they said, that it changes the brain of the mom until, like, for 5 years or so. 5 years. So you got a 5-year-old still really mentally trying to get over a state of depression from the pregnancy. Like, that's a
Can,
thing about
can I
that.
ask a Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Because I think this, but I'm asking you because I'm not a woman.
Okay.
Does breastfeeding help change that dynamic?
The
Because
dynamic of
most of the
what?
times, as far as like being demotivated, or because I know it changes the body. Like I know it sends a signal to the body that the pregnancy is over, the child is outside. You can uh, return to quote unquote normal. I know that's a fact. That's a scientific fact. But I'm saying psychologically, does that same effect take place with breastfeeding, or no? Or do you not know?
Um, I could say, like, all right. So when it comes to the women's bodies, period, the amount of information that we have on it is blip, right? Because the white man all of these years has only been focused on the white man. And when he does focus on women, it's an exploitive type of relationship. So he's gonna go in and rape a woman to go and figure something out, as opposed to listening to what women say. So science wise, there's limited information on women's bodies, period. Now we can go into, my own personal experience as a breastfeeding mom. Breastfeeding helps with weight. It'll help the weight go down. It helps regulate your body when it comes to your menstrual cycle and things like that. But does it help psychologically, like the emotional part of being a mom? Now I would say yes, because now that's time spent being eye to eye with your baby, right? But at the same time, breastfeeding is not just a one and done. There's people that breastfeed for years and years and years, and to have to breastfeed on demand, sometimes every 2 hours for months at a time, psychologically, that's going to make a lot of people snap if they don't get sleep. So if you're a breastfeeding mom and you don't have any support, whether that be your husband or your mom or grandmother or just somebody in the family that can be considerate enough to take into account that you're a human being that hasn't slept for days after having given birth, if you don't have that, mentally you're going to snap. So when I look at these women that be yelling at their kids, it hurts me to see the child be yelled at. But as a mom, what I see is a woman that has been broken. Essentially, she didn't have the support to be able to let her get through this in a soft way. It's a very difficult thing to give birth. Very difficult. You can't just be soft through it. You have to be strong. You have to strengthen yourself to get through something like that. And a lot of people never
Can I interject? Also, we have to remember we're not giving birth through our traditional methods. That makes it a hell of a lot. That makes something superhuman even hell of a lot harder.
Right. You basically giving birth upside down. So the baby got to go against gravity to come out. Or the baby, shoot, somebody would have to really go and do the research to see, is a hospital birth worse for mom or worse for a baby? Because it's definitely bad for mom and it's definitely bad for baby. And we have all the facts, but is it who is it really worse for? It is, right. So you take into consideration, you have mothers that did not have the proper situation in the first place, and then now they go to this hospital where nobody believes the pain that they're in. Nobody is trying to hear what they're saying at all. It's just what was your question again? You asked if breastfeeding was good psychologically. I
was saying that it helps psychologically as much as because I know it helps physically. I've talked to sisters and I read the research, but I didn't see anything about the psychological aspect of it.
Right. I would say it does help with bonding. Absolutely. It helps you bond with your baby. But I don't know that is enough to really get over all of the, the hoops and things that we're dealing with. So, yeah.
All right. What was that? That was the... What was that? The obesity? Okay.
Obesity.
And
did we finish that?
Huh?
I'm trying to remember. I thought I had a point on. I can't even remember now. If we got all the way through with it.
Which one?
The obesity issue.
Well, this was part of that. This was everything we talked about was part of that. Yeah. So if you got something else to add to it, yeah, go ahead.
I'm trying to remember if I did. We talked about solutions for men who have women that they want. We talked about that. Best solution. My solution is always going to be leave the country. And if you can't leave the country, buy land and create your own country within the country, because that's the only way you're going to actually make a rolling difference.
Can I be honest? Most people, when we get to the next slide, we'll see why most people can't do that. But go ahead.
No, I understand. And that you did bring up that a lot of people can't afford a healthy diet for their children or for themselves, and that, that's a valid point too. But what people are failing to realize is you could always not eat. That is a free option for you. You could not eat.
Lord, she didn't really hit the taboo topic now. It's
No, seriously,
boy,
like nobody
I
made
ain't
you
even gonna
to
lie.
not.
There's some y'all forgive me, but there's some big sisters that if they heard you say that, they ain't gonna be putting on the boxing gloves.
Well, look, and that goes back to the first one. You ready to fight me all because I'm telling the truth. The accountability episode, we talked about that. You ready to fight over the truth. But no, seriously, you don't have to eat. Even the I was reading about that's Rockefeller that said we're supposed to eat 3 times a day, and children develop better when they eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner 3 times a day, and then snacks in between.
Yeah, I didn't know it was Rockefeller. I just because again, I basically came to manhood in the nation. I remember Elijah Muhammad was like, eat one meal a day and nothing in between meals, and that would allow your body to deal with the poisons in the food. Now
Right.
he said it was poisons in the food 70, 80 years ago. Man, who knows? I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He hadn't seen nothing yet. Before they straight black pride, brother Rock, hey, good to see you, brother. So, but nah, go ahead, sis.
Um. Yes. I just was looking that up about the eating 3 times a day thing, and just in general, you don't have to have a whole the feeling of hunger is just that. It's a feeling. It's as if you've had an emotion. I'm angry. Okay, just because you're angry doesn't mean you have to follow through and go punch the person that made you angry. Just because you experience the feeling of hunger doesn't mean you need to go out, you have to go out and buy a whole meal. Not necessarily. Like fasting is not just some people look at it as like a religious thing where they only fast during a specific time of the year. But you can fast all the time. And I'm saying this is somebody that fasts for financial reasons, but also in general because sometimes life will make you lose your appetite. I don't have an appetite to just be eating when I know that my brothers and sisters are being slaughtered in Dar es Salaam. I'm not hungry. Honestly, I'm not looking to just go eat. And there's some people that do the opposite of that. So because they're sad, because they're going through something mentally, all they're doing is eating. And that's,
I was about to say that because, like I said in one of my presentations, our sisters have a tendency to eat their emotions.
hmm
Uh, but go ahead.
yeah, and that's a real thing. That's a real thing. But that doesn't mean that that's your only solution. And if you know that your thing is eating, or like really it's munching, it's the act of, like, the whole act of gathering the food and having it accessible to put into your mouth whenever you need it. If that's how you cope with things, you can eat things that are positive. Sit and eat a bowl of peanuts. Sit and eat some sunflowers. Sit and, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's options that will satisfy the coping mechanism of
Excuse, excuse me, man. You really expect me to sit around and eat a bowl of cashews while the world is collapsing?
cashews are luxury. So no, I said peanuts. Cashews are a luxury. The world is collapsing. We as American citizens should be more than grateful for all of the different types of poisons available to us. Shoot.
Well, if we keep letting a small country thousands of miles away take all the money up out of here, we we gonna have less poisons to choose from because this economy on the verge of complete collapse. But I take what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. So
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. The eating thing, I have sympathy for because eating disorders is a real thing. People that experience body dysmorphia, that's a real thing, and so I have sympathy for it. I'm not the kind of person that just makes fun of people for being big. I know people like that. I have family members that cannot really be in the same vicinity as people over 200 something pounds because they just gonna start laughing and cracking jokes and they're not gonna be able to take that person serious. And there's a level of we should be able to explore that because I don't think that I can take you seriously as an activist, like we said, or as somebody that is, saying that they are here fighting for the people when really what you're doing is how are you. It's just like what's the man named South Africa? Julius Malema, I think it is.
oh, I thought you were gonna talk about Big Mike, and he was talking about y'all not ready for a revolution, and somebody had a picture of him like this dude can't even get out of his chair talking about what we not ready for. And I'm not
No,
gonna lie, I was laughing as soon as I saw that. I was like, yo, I
seriously.
was like. I was like, this is why the internet needs to be turned off because y'all don't know how to act. Oh, Killer Mike, yeah, Killer Mike. But yeah, he was looking like Big Mike. The only thing he was killing was some sandwiches.
Right,
I'm like,
right.
what's really good out here? So, as a former uh larger than I needed to be person, hey man, listen, the world can make you depressed enough to eat because you just looking around, just like we ain't winning. Like, you know what I'm saying? Straight like that. And but another thing that contributes too is if you have some type of irregular work schedule where
Mm-hmm.
you working just crazy hours to the point where you can't prepare food properly and you just buying food outside your house, or
Mm-hmm.
you working overnight, or you working like that weird middle shift type of thing. Those things contribute too. Like you will
Yeah,
find your body changing because those things affect your hormones if you're not
for
getting proper
sure.
rest. So I mean, it's a lot of things that contribute to this stuff. But yeah,
Brother,
um,
you got ripped off saying you can't protect your waist, but you talking about protecting the community. Seriously. Seriously. No, I was
brother, you
bringing
got
up
to work on
Julius
that joke.
Malema because when, the pictures of him being like when he was skinny, he was on point. He was talking that talk. He got himself nice and round now, and he talking about he posted up with the white women and talking about the leg BQs and all of that, and it's like, oh, okay, somebody done fattened you up with niceness or what you think is niceness. So now you rather go and do what it is that the people fattening you up say versus doing what you know is the right thing to do. A lot of these people that talk about they for the community be big because they got paychecks from our oppressors and they eat well. They eat very
Well,
well.
as somebody who is not eating well, and I ain't gonna lie to you, it depended on the support of the community. I guess y'all helped me get skinny. So salute the black people. But in all seriousness, nah, yeah, it's definitely different if you being supported by the enemy, because
Hmm.
as we see, they willing to pay you $7,000 per post or something like that, which is sheer madness. And that a lot of people will volunteer for that because that's gonna make a lot of people bow down to the synagogue of Satan.
Yeah.
Brother, you got ripped off, got jokes on about Umar ain't never been in shape. I wasn't even gonna go there, but you know what I'm saying? He a big dude and he gonna be a big dude. So whatever donations that he getting or have he getting his money, it's enough to keep him well fed apparently. Plus he got a rack of sisters all around the country, so he good. He's good. Um but yeah, you ready to go to the next one? Because I mean we might spend 20 minutes on that.
Yeah, now last comment is them belly full, but we hungry. Next up, black people have not produced anything
Thank you, editor. Thank you.
goodness since we started calling ourselves the N word. So when you say produce anything, what do you mean by that? Because I could name a few things that have been produced.
Anything positive.
Well,
That's what I'm
hold
saying.
up. Nah, we're not gonna go like that. Brother Moses West that has the atmospheric water generator.
No, I'm talking about, okay, this is what I'm talking about. Because I'm measuring it from before. So my measuring stick for the black community is Marcus Garvey. That's my measuring stick. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, my measuring stick is the old Nation of Islam, not the new Nation of Islam, the old Nation of Islam. So, when I say we haven't produced nothing positively, I'm not talking about individual stuff because we had individuals inventing stuff in slavery. I'm
Hmm.
talking about as a community, we cannot point to anything and say, here is, speaking of Umar, here is our new campus for our super pro black college. We can't point to that. Or here is, like, we can't keep our businesses open, which is not all our fault. That, let's be real, they have taken the capital out of the system and put it all to the people who already had money. I get that, but I'm saying, in like, if you look at the individual people who have achieved the wealth and compare it to what they have produced or what we have produced collectively compared to before, we had people like Robert Johnson and businessmen like that, compared to now, nah, we ain't produced nothing because we can't point to nothing that's been sustainable for decades. Ain't no business, no movement, no institution, no school, no nothing. I don't know nothing that I can physically put my hands on or physically go to and say, oh, wow, this is great. This was created only by black people in America. Because I'm only talking about black people in America. I'm not talking about people overseas. So go ahead, says, if you disagree with that, I'm all ears.
I'm trying to, but it's taking me a minute. Hold on.
So while the sister asked AI what black people have produced since we started going up with the N word, I will continue with my point. Brother Jirage said plant protein, excuse me, trail mix helps with those weird schedules. I can attest to that. Man, I was looking at some trail mix the other day and it was on sale, but they didn't have the one they had. You ever been to a store where I completely digress to give her time? You ever been to a store where they have every flavor or something except the one you want? That's how I was the other day. Like, I'm in the store, I'm like, nah, where's the one I bought last time? And I'm looking at literally all the they got all these varieties except the one I had before that had like a coconut in it and pineapple with like some other stuff. Man, I was looking for that trail mix for 5 minutes. They probably thought I was trying to steal something. Like, well, more than 5 minutes, but they probably thought I was trying to steal something. But I'm always down for some good trail mix. But I like different varieties. Like when they start mixing it up, I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. But yeah, to brother's point, you know, I guess I just put that up for anybody that want to know. You know what I'm saying? Those things help if you had them weird schedules. Because I done had them weird schedules, man. It's rough. So Sister Najee is still looking for that. Brother, you got ripped off, got jokes talking about Tyler Perry. He has a movie studio. Tyler Perry is all right, man. Listen, that's not positive because he got his money because of transvestism. That's how he got his money. He got his money imitating and making mockery of black women. So I'm gonna just point that in a negative too, right? And I don't even actually know because I don't think all of his money. I don't know who he's connected with. Cause just like when people thought Oprah had all her money, and then there was some hat she was connected with. So I would even have to look and see is all his money, or is there some hat money backing him? To be honest, because that's another thing that I've seen over the years is that you think that a company is black or whatever, but not just their financing, but a large percentage of their company is actually owned by other people, and they're in essence the front man. Like, um, just as an extreme example, like the Diddy Ciroc thing, right? But not even that. I'm talking about somebody that actually has, or they may found a company. And another thing, like we quit to, as soon as they send us some money, we quit to sell the company to somebody else, and that just helps them consolidate stuff. Like how many, just in the last 10 years or so, how many black women have founded some type of company dealing with shea butter or hair products or skin products or all of the above, and they get successful and they may get their stuff in, the major stores, and the women talk about how great this stuff is, and
Mm-hmm.
before you know it, somebody has to put out a meme or something or a video and tell people, hey, don't buy that stuff no more because some white company bought them. They done sold the stuff. So you're not even supporting black business no more, and everybody looking around like when that happened.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, so I'm just saying, like we haven't produced anything positive and sustainable that I can think of literally this century. You know what I'm saying? And we start calling ourselves N words before that. And I'm not saying that what they say, uh correlation is causation, but I think in this case it is, because the more you destroy your racial esteem, the less likely you are to do anything positive or productive. And to be honest, this really goes into the next thing. But sister, if you got anything to add, you can interject.
No, I mean it's one of them things. I seen it so many times where we, like you said, we create something that's black owned. We think that we're doing something, and then they sell the business. They sell the business off. There's a um there's a company called Honeypot that sells pads, the women's sanitary napkins, and it was black owned, and she was like putting herbs in it and like using the remedies and whatever, and she sold it off. And not only did she not, maybe not even a year after she sold it, now on the box, instead of it saying pads for women, it says pads for people who have periods. And it's like, what you mean by that? Like, why you use so many words to say women, but they got to be inclusive of the whoever's that may or may not
Yes.
cycle. I don't know.
Yeah, and part of that is that, being completely honest, the people in our communities that have actual wealth, because most of the time their wealth is in some way connected to people outside our community, even if they were of the mind to, which most of them are not, they won't even look at a business that's already successful and fund the business. Like, I
Yeah.
remember it was some athletes, maybe like some of them might be current, some of them look like they were former athletes, and they were talking about how they had like missed the opportunity to put their money together and build something. And I'm thinking to myself, even if you can't, why don't you go to the younger dudes and talk to them? Because I just look at it like this: if you getting, especially like NBA money is crazy now. Dudes on the regular getting 40 mil. Like Michael Jordan made 3.5. You know what I'm saying? These people getting 40, $45 million. You can't tell me that if you getting $45 million over 5 years, you can't. I know you play 82 games and all that, blah blah blah. But since they doing load management and all that stuff, half the time they ain't even playing. Um, you can't tell me that you can't invest $20,000 in somebody. Is nobody that has a business where you can invest $20,000, but you can go to the strip club and spend $20,000. Now, I mean, you can tell me that, but I'm just gonna look at you like you a coon for real, because it's crazy. You have a chance to invest money to make money in the black community, but you rather spend it on OnlyFans models and whatever. I mean, or and if you a former player, you mess around and be like Shannon Sharp and end up paying off some random skip scap, as my as my brother used to say, whatever he ended up paying her, or $500,000 or $1,000,000 or whatever. I mean, it's oh man, it just makes me want to throw up when I think about the people in our community that actually have access to resources, actually have access to wealth, and they ain't doing nothing productive. Like it makes me want to physically vomit. Like it's disgusting, it's deplorable. And I'm gonna be honest, that's why a lot of these dudes, like, that's really high level and got a lot of um money and resources, and they achieve certain stuff. I still don't have no respect for them as a man, because they ain't doing nothing with it. You know what I'm saying? And if you doing something under the table, okay, cool. But most of them ain't doing nothing under the table, because we see the results. We don't see nothing. So that's how we know they ain't doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got $250 million, you got a quarter, like, and then a lot of them, because they surrounded by people who influence them, you got a foundation that help everybody. Man, I don't care about that. Like, oh well, I'm gonna help the kids learn to read. Okay, that's cool, but our children are the ones that are literate. Their children is fine. Like, what they there for? Or I do football camps, or that. Man, look, I don't care about none of that. I don't care about none of that. If I sound like a hater, so what? You know what I'm saying? I don't care about sounding like a hater. Yeah, I'm a hater. I hate cooning. You know what I'm saying? I hate treachery. I hate traitors. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Because to be honest, you ain't got to fight the war. You know what I'm saying? You could help fund the war. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, listen. I'm done. Sister Najee, please take the microphone and just add to the discourse, please.
I mean, when we look at the fact that Prince George's County specifically was called out in Blueprint for Black Power by Amos Wilson, he was outlining back then, all the way back then, not only that we have enough money to be our own little African nation, he was outlining how we weren't using our money to really do anything to positively affect change. And it has only gotten worse, because at least back then it was like, whew, I arrived, right? I got here. Let me make sure that there was still this structuring of, let me make sure that I can keep the money and be able to pass something down to my children. Now, the whole idea of children is like, F that, like, this money is for me. And I want to make sure that, these kids, they need to go out and they need to get their own money. And so, like, when
Oh,
you talk
don't even
about
get me started on people selling the family house or whatever. And it's just like,
selling the family
oh,
house,
so
selling the
y'all,
children, like, it's really
I'm like,
bad.
y'all selling the family house like you don't have. I'm like, between y'all got 12 kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody can't take this house. Nobody can use it. Like, none of y'all 12 kids. You know what I'm saying? You just be like, you be like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I resonate with you when you talk about it makes you physically sick. It makes me physically sick as well. I'd be disgusted thinking about, I'm PG, DC, all of that, walking down the streets and being like, wow, look at all of this waste. Look at all of this waste. You walk down the streets in DC, you got all of these storefronts with the lights on in the middle of the night. Electricity bill high, not being used at all. Just waste. Complete and utter waste. We got high school children going to prom, spending all this money on helicopters and custom dresses and this and that, and truly don't even deserve to graduate for real, as far as like reading and arithmetic capacity. It's all, when you talk about, you said earlier, we just not serious. We really not. And it's sickening. Not the serious part, but the fact that it's just so wasteful. And these are dollars that people actively need. And I was saying a few months back, like, man, there's people across the motherland. There's people across the world need this money. And somebody was like, well, forget the motherland. We need this money in Mississippi. We need this money in Georgia. And it's like, you're right. Like you don't have to knock the rest of the
I'm gonna be
world.
honest. We need the money right here, and well, we need the money in Northeast DC. If you look at Northeast DC compared to the rest of DC, I'm gonna be completely honest out here. Even if you don't look at the people, the condition of the people. Forget the buildings and all that. Look at the condition of the people. Like, hey, man. My bad. Go ahead, sister.
No, I mean, it's sickening. It makes me sick. It makes me feel guilty, honestly, for even just being here. Because it's like, man, how much money, how many tax dollars have I now directly given to the state that shoots down our people? How much of my money has gone to the suffering of people in this land and across the world just by being here and having to pay a toll? Or I go to the gas station, I got to pay a little tax for this. How much of that money honestly is just going straight to the guns that shoot our people down? Straight to the gas fuel for the planes that take the minerals out of the Congo. How much of it was on me? That's when you talk about being disgusted, that's where I go mentally.
Yeah. See, I don't even think that deep. And I'm gonna be honest. Like, when you was talking about shoot out people down, I thought you were saying here. I'm just being completely honest. This gonna sound horrible. Until we start shooting back, what y'all want me to do? Yeah, that's it. I mean, our ancestors done already gave us the answer to that test. So I just be like, people be like, oh, so and so happened. I'm like, bruh. NFAC, the dude NFAC got all these people together, and y'all laughed him out and didn't support him, and now he locked up. What you want me to do? Cause I seen how we react. So I ain't got. What you want me to do? I ain't got no response. I ain't got. It's sad. Yeah, this and that. But what you want me to do? Cause I already see how y'all act in this situation. I see how y'all don't support people who say, all right, well, yeah, I got a solution to that. And so it's not that I be having sympathy, but I be having sympathy for the family. But like, when the people that tell me this stuff, I'm like, what you want me to do? Spread the message? I told y'all a long time ago. I said, I'm not showing these videos. I'm not talking about this stuff a lot because it doesn't induce the reaction that is necessary for us to make it stop. So y'all ain't serious. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not a spring chicken no more. So what you want me to do? Yeah, like, I don't feel no guilt or nothing like that, because listen, when it was time to stop the problem with the drugs in the community, there's some people that joined that fight and some people that didn't. Okay, well, that led to a lot of other things that we're dealing with now. And what y'all want me to do? I mean, that's it, right? So I'm saying, so I'll be that guilt. I don't be feeling that guilt. Disgust, absolutely. Now, as far as what goes on the continent, I don't feel. I'm gonna be honest. I don't feel no guilt for that, because I'm just like, we showed y'all what it is or how to deal with it back in the day. Like, literally some of Africa's leaders came here, saw what black people were doing, like, oh, okay, that's how you carry it. Went back and handled business. So again, my biggest thing is, man, it's 54 nations and 1.5 billion people. At some point, we got to be able to put some hands on some traders and some people that don't look like us. It's the same issue. It's just bigger. Like for the men, it's like, call me when you find the solution, right? That's why I have so much respect for the AES, because they literally looked around and like, wait, hold up. These people are not serious about this terrorism thing. I guess we got to get serious. So I don't know what to say. I'm just gonna move on, because my stance is just gonna sound like I'm a hater and a pocket watcher and I hate our people and this and that. But I'm just keeping it 100. Like, a lot of this stuff has been addressed for, man, decades ago. And people want you to do something now. I'm like, where was you at when we were doing something? You know what I'm saying? Like, you wasn't supporting that. So you want me to do something now? Now that I'm past my physical prime.
I mean, to be fair,
let's keep it 100.
To be fair, some of us were only just born, and that's not our fault.
No, I ain't talking about y'all. Y'all not the ones sending me the memes. The people sending me the memes is from my generation. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. 20-year-olds are not sending me the memes like, hey, what do we do? That's not what's happening. 40-year-olds are sending me like, yeah, what do we do? Like, what do you mean, what do we do? Where were you at 10 years ago? What are you talking about? So that's what I'm saying. No, I'm not talking about the young people. Before they, brother, be peaceful. And what Malcolm say, be peaceful, obey the law, but if anybody put their hands on you, send them to the cemetery. So that's my stance. And long as we have gone from calling ourselves N-words to living out what it is, and you can't produce nothing like that, because N-words were designed to not produce nothing. That comes, the word, the thought, the imagery, and everything comes out of the mind of our enemies. So that's all I'm gonna say on that. Anybody want to argue or debate it? If you watch it later, proceed. Black men play too much. This is, brother, you got ripped off. I was having this discussion with him. Grown men are spending endless hours on PlayStation, Xbox, sports, gambling, etc., while doing no nation building work. I'm not against any of these things individually. It's the fact that collectively they are an escape mechanism from doing what's necessary to ensure black survival is my issue. I watch, well, not as much this year, but I watch football. That was my relaxation, right? I play fantasy football now. So I play fantasy football more than I watch football, but at the same time, it doesn't like stop me from trying to do nation building work. Money stops me from doing as much nation building work as I could, and not having access to venues because of our stance. You know what I'm saying? It stops me from doing as much nation building work. But PlayStation and I ain't even got no PlayStation. I ain't had a PlayStation in years. I ain't got none of that stuff. But to the point of the discussion when the brother said it, part of it, hip hop being a part of this too, hip hop has kept black men for 3 generations in an elongated adolescent state. And like we talked about not being serious, when you try to talk to brothers about something serious, like if you talk about sports, you can get a conversation of grown men going immediately, and camaraderie and stuff like that. If you start talking about something serious, unless you're like Trump sucks, then everybody will interject with that. Yeah, you're right. But if you start breaking some stuff down, if you lucky, people will listen. But most times dudes like, all right, bro, and they'll walk off. Because who said it? Somebody said black people are very serious Oh, was a Baba Camp on? They said black people were very serious about not being very serious, something to
Mhm.
that effect. I mean, not only has it not changed, oh, it's way worse than it was when he said it. So yeah, that I mean, I ain't got nothing else to ask. It's not Jay. You can interject.
I think the issue of black men playing too much could be expanded into a issue of being a walking eunuch in general. The vast majority of men that I've spoken to that don't do nation work are actually against nation building work. They feel like to sit there and try and, build up a community that is empowered enough to make positive changes is not that it's a waste of time. They see it as going in the opposite direction of what we should be doing. A lot of them feel like we really should just be keeping our heads down and getting this money. No, I just need to get this money. But they don't have the full vision to see
Can I
why
interject?
we need the
Because that
money in the
sounds like,
first place.
oh nah, no. You know what? Because I'm about to say something. I'm about to say something crazy. You continue, my sister. My bad. My apologies. I'm turning my mic off. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the men that are against it, they don't see it. Like, I remember arguing, well, not really arguing, but telling this man that he's a bundle of sticks because he's soft, and he's soft because he think that white men really rule the world. And I'm not saying, right now clearly they got a little bit of clout or whatever, but what they doing a terrible job. So it's not like I'm really about to sit here and be in awe of white men. How could you be in awe and they're doing a terrible job? Everywhere you look, white people are doing a bad job being in power. They're doing this awful, just
I
awful,
mean, it's a
awful, awful.
difference. I would say this: it's a difference between saying these people are in power right now, but it's to me when people say that they say it like it's the Europeans' right, and I'm making an acknowledgement that this is the situation at the time,
Mm-hmm.
but this is actually unnatural,
Mm-hmm.
and we every day we should be committing some percentage of mental energy to end that rule because as you said the world is going up in flames. You know what I'm saying, whether intentionally or unintentionally, and so to act as if this is something natural and we got to go along with the flow, as far as I'm concerned, that's low-key psychological homosexuality for
I'm
real.
telling
Go ahead,
you,
sister.
that's what I'm saying. They would much rather just let it happen, and they put themselves in a situation to not only laugh at the people trying to make a difference, but really be mad at the people trying to make a difference. Like the man I was talking about, he's talking about sovereignty. Psh, ain't no sovereignty. Ain't no you can't you just gotta get in line and bend over. Like I had to bend over, that means you gotta bend over too. No such thing as sovereignty. And it's like, how can you as a man really sit here and try and tell me that there's no sovereignty? And then like the attempt at sovereignty is laughable. There's no such, and I have to make the note because it's important to note it was a Caribbean man. A lot of the people on the islands, because of the way that their islands are run, being primarily a tourist industrial type of situation, they truly don't look at each other. They don't look and see the beauty of their situation. You got all these black people on this island, and y'all really got the ability to work together and like claim like this is your land for real. But they don't. They will look around and see each other as the enemy because they feel like the white people need to come and take care of them. They don't feel like they can, survive on the island unless they have a whole bunch of things that they're importing. They don't think that they would be able to be self-sustaining with, just getting together on agriculture and really getting together and teaching each other and using the industries that they already have. They only see it as, if the queen's not here to make us run, then we would all just, just evaporate into thin air. We only here because the white man brought us here to the island, and now because he take care of the island, now the island run. But I can't now take care of the island myself as a fully grown human being. It's really sad. Yeah.
Yeah, sister, I don't I don't even know what to say to that. Just because I never, again, my whole life, I've been, even when I was a child, I was just like, and people would explain stuff. I'm like, yeah, but that ain't right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, you telling me that's how the real world works. Cool. I have processed that, but that's not right. That's not correct. That's not
Right.
how things should be.
I'm just
Like,
gonna
I was
take
like that as a, what I'm saying? I was like that as a child. So I'm just like, I got to find some other solution. So, I mean, I just remember when I found out that Martin Luther King wasn't the only black leader in the universe, how mad I was. I was like, you mean Malcolm X existed and y'all follow Martin Luther King? Y'all ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was livid. I was like, wait a minute. You mean we going through all this because and y'all had an option? Oh my, I hadn't even found out about the Panthers yet. Then I was really like, man, as a young person finding out, like starting to find out the history and being like, wait a minute, you mean we don't have to be like this? Y'all chose this? What am I missing? There had to be some type of inducement for this. Like what? Oh man, don't get me started. But yeah, the going out like a sucker thing. I mean, hey man, if I got to just give my life so that all black men not suckers, then yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But to a degree, it points to a degree where black men talk about black women don't respect black men and this and this and that. I'm like, what have we built or what have
I
we done
wonder
as
why.
men? As men, if we being honest, to build that respect, like
Mm-hmm.
in the subconscious mind of the black woman. I'm just gonna say this: in the subconscious mind of the black woman, even though they don't even know it, they don't say it. They really want us cracking some skulls for real. That's really what it. If they saw us cracking some skulls for the right reasons, the respect would go up. So a lot of the discourse that we have is really kind of irrelevant because we're not putting in no work. I'm gonna just be honest. The reason the enemy tells us that violence ain't the answer is because most times violence is actually the answer. That's being completely honest. Overwhelming, complete, utter brutality solves way more problems than loving everybody. Sorry, not sorry. I'm here to just tell you from a historical perspective, that's what generally works. I see the numbers done went down as soon as I said it. Hey, they might shut down the show. I'm just going from a historical perspective. A lot of times, in fact, most of the times black people got free is because somebody stood up and said, I'm not going to take this anymore. And I don't know what you in Memphis are going to do, but the next Urugu or whoever they come in here talking sideways, he gonna have to reattach his head. You know what I'm saying? And once that person got other people to agree to that, all of a sudden people start getting free. That's what happened. All the lies about marching and the biggest lie, historical lie, the biggest lie of the 20th century that carried on into the future that black people believed in is the lie of non-violent social change. It's a complete and utter lie Malcolm X said it best. There's no such thing as a nonviolent revolution. If you're gonna get up in arms and tell people that you want to change a society or change a system or change something that's going on a mass level, the people who are in charge are going to respond with violence. So it's still not nonviolent, even if the nonviolence changed anything. But the nonviolence don't change anything because the people are going to get violent in power are going to get violent first. And if you don't respond in a language that they equally understand, you're going to get either wiped out or browbeat brutally to the point where you go back to where you came from in the position that you was in beforehand. That's how it really works. That's the reality of history. That's the reality of life. And anybody saying anything other than that is a complete and utter coward or a complete and total liar. That's it. And that's all. And I'm through on my tangent. Sister, you got anything to add to what I just said?
Black men play too much. I need to get serious. Me personally, I knew that the COVID issue was serious when they shut down basketball. I was like, oh snap, there's not no regular bird flu we talking about. They really being serious about this. So I think if we were to shut down sports, things would be a lot better. Now on the PlayStation issue, GTA 6 was supposed to come out this year and it didn't. And a lot of people think it's because things are about to get so bad in the States that they asked them to like wait until next year so that we can, basically play ourselves through the apocalypse. But yeah, that's it. We can move to the next slide.
Well, GTA 6 been coming out for 38 years. At this point, GTA 6 is on the same level as Dr. Dre's Detox album. You know what I'm saying? What the dude said, the comedy dude say, things we hear about but never see. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah. We move on.
But yeah, I don't really. How about we do this? Because we already 2 hours and 15 minutes in.
You talking about I don't got that many slides. We're gonna be real quick.
I know I didn't have that many slides, but I said we got a lot of points. Yeah. So how about we do in essence a part 3 and just follow this one up immediately next week. What do you think about that? Like if we had a large audience, I would continue. But since we got a small audience, I'm just like, why bother? So it's up to you, sister. Up to you and the audience. What do you say?
I'm just reading it real quick. Yeah, we do that. I'm looking at what you got.
Mm-hmm. And
ooh, that last one. Many black children are functionally illiterate because many black parents don't like or value their children. That was exposed with COVID as well, because the amount of parents that had to actually be with their children, like you had them at the hospital. Immediately they separated you, and then 2 weeks later you went back to work and you put them into daycare. You never actually got to know who this little person is. For real. You use them for Facebook photo ops, but you don't know this kid. Yeah, like Brother Jaraki said, like they're a burden, essentially.
Well, yeah, because the circumstance that brought the child into existence wasn't right. So yeah. So yeah, brothers and sisters, what we're gonna continue this conversation next week, and I'll probably add some more slides. So we'll have a part to this taboo topics. I was hoping more people would come through. I don't really know what's going on. Like our views, the post Genie views have been completely honest, pathetic. Lower than I've had as far as for any set of more than 3 views. 3 shows. So I don't know why people aren't showing up for the live stream. And it would be different if people were like viewing it after they're posted, but that's not really happening. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know if people aren't getting the message. I don't know if I'm sending out the information late. We come on the same time every week. I don't know if people don't like the subject matter. I don't know if we're saying the same thing too much. I don't know if we're too negative. I don't know why Sister Najee presence has run all the sisters away from the show. I don't know what that's about. But a large percentage of the drop in viewership is from the lack of sisters watching. And sisters were watching when Najee first showed up, but after they kind of heard her a couple of times, all of a sudden, nobody, fewer women watch the show. I'm
Black,
not blaming the sister. I'm
black
saying
women
I looked
jealous
at
of
the
younger black
analytics.
women. That
Say
was
that
the
again.
older black women jealous of younger black women. We talked about that. Black women give each other bad relationship advice because of jealousy and competition. We talked about it.
I wasn't gonna go there. I was just going with the analytics when I saw it. I was like, huh? You know what I'm saying? Like the ratio of men and women was so out of whack. I was like, wait a minute. And literally I just started going back to the analytics. I'm like, oh my, what is going on? You know what I'm saying? So um I don't know. Apparently I'm just had to get some more. You know what? When you and Sister Asha came on and started talking about polygamy. I think that was the start right there. And I think you being on was kind of the after effect of that. But I think when they saw that, they was like, "Oh, there's probably some sisters that ain't gonna say it to me, but be like, oh, he done found some brainwashed young brothers that sit around talk that nonsense. I ain't sharing no man, you know, all that stuff." I'm like, nah, you ain't sharing no man because you ain't got one. Respectfully, you know what I'm saying? That's like me saying I ain't sharing no money. I ain't got no money. I can't share it. So anyway, man, I'm done with the comedy routine. This is SBL Talk. I am your host, DC Radical One, along with my sister Najee. You can follow me on Instagram at dc.radical1, and you can follow me on Threads as well at dc.radical1, on Twitter at dcradical_one, on OTW2 at dcradical1. If you happen to watch the show and you enjoy it, you can donate via Cash App to keep us up and running at $DC Radical1. You can email me at dc.radical_1 at protonmail.com. If you have show ideas, subject matter you would like us to discuss. Also, you could donate via Zelle if you don't have Cash App at the email address dc.radical_1 at protonmail.com. Sister Najee, let them know how they can contact you and support you, please.
Can find me at Nefra Najee, NFR Najee, not for real Najee, on Instagram and Rumble and Twitch. Haven't been on Twitch because life has been lifing, but I do have things up in the brain that will be coming out as content eventually. I'm not even gonna lie to you and say soon. It's gonna come when it comes. Until then, you can check out what's already there. You can go to my website, realkkkkk.com, where we discuss the scientific solution for sovereignty. Sovereignty is not some fleeting crack dream. It is a actual thing that we already had and a lot of people have at this point. And if you're familiar with the term intellectual maroon, everybody has the ability to stand on 10 and be sovereign. You do not have to bend over and give evil an opening. That is my favorite quote for this year. I'm not gonna lie. That is certainly up there for me. Because that is what we're seeing. People bending over to give evil an opening. Thank you so much, Baba Khalid Muhammad, for that.
So Sister Najee remind me to try to find that. I can't remember what speech she said it in, but remind me to try to find that so I can put it as a drop on our, now that we can put drops on in the StreamYard, because I'm just gonna I'm gonna start putting pro black drops because everybody got everything else, but nobody has our ancestors quotes. So I'm gonna start doing that as well.
Yeah, that's cool. We
Um,
need that.
Brother Jaraki says got to put some current drama as the titles. Attention spans are not consistent.
Oh,
Um, I don't even be tapped into what's going on, so I can't even do that because I don't know what's happening. Like I did that with the it was part of the subject matter, but with like the NBA thing, that didn't even get views, you know. So um yeah. Yeah, no, we talked about that. We talked about that. I was gonna do a video about that, about mental health, but you know, I may do a show on that. To be honest, I was gonna do a video, but I may do a show on it. But I was trying to see what was happening, and basically his family don't believe the cops. So I'm trying to see how the story will play out. But I still don't. His was weird. Like some of that stuff, our audience doesn't show up for, but it doesn't bring in an outside audience either. So yeah, so even that stuff doesn't draw attention because bigger channels cover it. So realistically, I appreciate that suggestion, but I don't know. I like first of all, I'm trying to get our original audience to come back first, and then those numbers will help bring in other people. Right now, our original audience hasn't come back, and they haven't come back for the center either. So it's not like it's a Najee thing, other than I guess they like to heck with him and those chicks he with, and I'm ditching the whole thing. So, you know what I'm saying? And maybe that's it. And if that's what it is, then so be it. You know, carry on. So, but salute to Brother Jarake. Brother Jarake, did you ever finally get everything? Because if not, I gotta see what the solution is. Did you get to download everything? And this was what I was going to ask. I think Brother Jarake might be the only one, brother, you got ripped off who's not here for part of the membership thing. Because some of you all, you pay the membership thing every month, and I don't even see some of the members in here watching the show live, which is weird. What I was going to do is I was going to start doing like unfiltered thoughts, like just videos, just unfiltered, that only the members get sent to you via Dropbox or whatever. Like unfiltered radical thoughts, like just stuff that basically can't be put up on YouTube or anywhere else. So I was gonna start doing those maybe once a week. So y'all tell me, and maybe I'll make a post about it too and see. Y'all tell me if y'all want those, because I think I'm gonna start doing those. Because there are times when I'm just like, yeah. You say you refrain from giving. Well, yeah. I mean, if you do the membership, they definitely get a cut. So that's why I appreciate when people just send it via Cashapp. That's more. That benefits me more. But either way, it's fine. But so if y'all let me know if that's something y'all would be interested in, because I can react more to things that happen, like the Marshawn Kneeling thing or whatever the case may be, in real time, and just give my unfiltered thoughts on it. So y'all let me know. It's up to y'all. Like whenever, if this video gets around and y'all see it. But that's an idea I had for the people who either have the official YouTube membership, or for the people, because there's some people that don't have the official YouTube membership, but they donate, once a month. So that is an idea that I have, and I'm putting that on the table, and y'all can let me know what y'all think. Sister Najee, before we close out, do you have anything that you want to add or say? Okay.
I do. It's time to be brave. And whatever way that means to you, it's going to look different for different people, but it is the time. Be brave. Do the thing. I don't even know what that means all the way. I know what it means for me, but I don't know what it means for you. But you know what it means for you. You need to be brave and go do the thing that needs to be done. Don't be a eunuch. That's it.
All right. Well, that's our sister. I will. I probably won't end up doing a show Thanksgiving, just because like everything will be closed down and people will have other things going on, and I'll be celebrating Umoja Karamu the day after. So what I may do that week is we may have some may move the shows to like maybe Monday and Tuesday, and then just have just chop ups, cut ups, highlights posted, and and once I finish editing them Monday and Tuesday of next week, I'll be reposting the shows that they took down. Well, they didn't take down, but that they limited the viewership because of copyright. So Monday, Tuesday of next week, Monday, Tuesday, basically you should have content all next week. Or I may put them up Sunday or Monday. I don't know, but be on the lookout for that. So I'll put it on Instagram and Telegram and Threads, and let everybody know when that stuff will be up. So please take a chance to watch that, because I thought those were two excellent shows, and I was disappointed when they were taken down. So with that, brothers and sisters, I thank you all for listening. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. This is SBL Talk with your brother DC Radical 1 and sister Nefer J. Be safe out there. Take care of yourself, take care of each other. There's a war going on outside that no man is safe from, in the words of Mobb Deep. And so we'll see, as JD used to say, we will see you on the battlefield. With that, I say, a BB for ODA and Street Black Pride. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also follow us on our other social media platforms. On Instagram, we're at dc.radical1. On Twitter, we're at dc_radical_ONE. And the Cashapp is $DC Radical1. Again, thank you for subscribing. A BB for ODA and Straight Black Pride.